glad to welcome faculty members from our college, from our college and other colleges. Finally, I'd like to welcome MSW students and our seniors, and the participants from other colleges for this national level webinar on trafficking during pandemic. Let us start the session. Doing something great always needs a good start. Now, I would like to call the HOD ma'am, Dr. K. Shyamla, to give upon the welcome speech.
Very good morning to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you're audible.
Very good morning to everyone. I'm very glad to introduce Dr. M. Devasitham, Head Strategic Development, International Justice Mission. On behalf of PG Department of Social Work, Dr. Ambedkar Government Arts College, and he has been working in International Justice Mission for over 10 years. He joined IJM in the year 2010 and started his fight against human trafficking. He supported district administration and law enforcement officials to investigate, identify, and rescue the victims of human trafficking across the country. He has rescued more than 3,500 victims of labor trafficking in collaboration with local government and police department. He had done a practical study on the status of bonded laborers during identification, release, rehabilitation, and prosecution, for which he received the doctorate degree. He has a passion for protecting the vulnerable from violence in the context of human trafficking. And he is committed to build the will and capacity of various government and non-government agencies through impactful trainings. He also supported the government of Kerala in assessment and prevention of human trafficking during the Kerala floods. He also successfully led interstate human trafficking rescue operations and is a member of police-led missing children investigation team in few states of India. He is instrumental in setting the anti-human trafficking help desk at Chennai Central Railway Station, along with the government railway police, in breaking down the traffickers' networks. And now he is amidst us to deliver the lecture on trafficking during pandemic, which will be really useful for our students to know what is meant by trafficking, what are the root causes, and what are the types of trafficking, and how do we overcome it. And I welcome all the participants. Have a very good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are very much excited for this session. I request all the students not to unmute yourself until I say. I request Dr. M. Devasitham sir to take over the session.
Yes. Let me start with the very frequently asked question, especially during this virtual interactions. Am I audible? Amina, can you tell me, am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, my video is clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're clear, sir.
Thank you for patiently answering. As ma'am introduced, I am Dr. Devasitham. It is very important, more than the speaker, it is important, for us to thank the people who's the brain behind organizing this national conference on human trafficking. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Sumati Rajagopalan ma'am, the principal of the college. And I would like to thank Dr. Shamla ma'am, head of the department social work, for beautifully putting together. I'd like to thank Dr. Murugan sir, Dr. Sandana Krishnan sir, and Mrs. Rachel ma'am, and Mr. Navindra sir, and all the people, especially from the computer department, for putting together this webinar, beautifully, and working behind the screen, for us to meet today and get oriented about what is human trafficking. And also my special thanks to Professor Sakti Devi who's been instrumental in connecting with me, coordinating with me, and finally we are here meeting today. So thank you everyone, and also my special thanks to all the participants, students who are participating in this webinar. I also wanted to thank the entire organizing committee for picking on the issue human trafficking during pandemic. The reason why I'm thanking them because there are a lot of topics are available, but in the midst of all this topic, they have selected human trafficking. This is one of the very important topics for us to understand because during pandemic, the issue of human trafficking has increased tremendously. Take it a children or an adult girl or boy or family, the human trafficking is just increasing during this pandemic. So it is very high time for us to come together and learn about human trafficking and then, take swift action. Friends, especially the students, there will be two types of participants, okay? The one type is don't know anything about human trafficking. If you're a person, you don't know about human trafficking, this is the first time you're hearing. Friends, please listen carefully and take a notes, get sensitized on what is human trafficking and related issue so that, you can sensitize and, protect yourself and also support others. And the second category of participants who already know about human trafficking, they might have part of some webinars, they participated some of the activities. If you know human trafficking, I encourage you to listen one more time, and enhance your knowledge on the issue, and also to find a way how you can join the fight against human trafficking. Those are my two requests to all the participants. And the next 30 to 40 minutes, I'm going to talk about human trafficking in a big range. I'm going to divide my session into three different categories. One is what is human trafficking. The second one is the law behind human trafficking. What does law defines human trafficking as? And who's the human traffickers and what they do, how they traffic human beings. And the last section is going to be how human trafficking happens during pandemics. Okay, these are the three sections I'll be talking. If you give me just 1 minute, I will share the slide. Okay. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, friends, let me start with this, the first picture. If you see all the youngsters who are standing here, what is they holding in their hand? Anybody? That is, just to restrict, a lot of interaction. And I may, jump in and say that, they're all holding phones because during pandemic, phone has actually increased a lot. Phone usage has increased a lot. We'll be seeing that in little while. So I represent an organization called International Justice Mission. For the last 20 years, we've been closely working with state and central government to combat human trafficking. We identify the victims and we rescue them, rehabilitate the victims, also prosecute the offenders in collaboration with the local law enforcement agencies. We work on two forms of human trafficking. One is bonded labor system, which is called labor trafficking, and second one is commercial sexual exploitation of minor or sex trafficking. We work across the country. We not only just rescue and rehabilitate, we also involve in capacity building of stakeholders of human trafficking. Could be police officers, could be other officials, all the stakeholders, NGOs, students, anybody who's willing to join the fight against human trafficking, then we are very happy to train them. What is human trafficking, friends? Friends, I'm going to really wait some time, spend some time in explaining you what is human trafficking. Because human trafficking simply means it's an illegal trade of human beings. When you go to a shop, you will be, when you go to, for example, I would pick this example. When you go to purchase a cloth, there will be a person who is a seller and you are the buyer and the product is a cloth. Okay. When you go to shop for buy a phone, you are the buyer and the phone shop owner is a seller and the phone is a product. Likewise, in human trafficking, Humans are treated like a product. There is a buyer in human trafficking, there is a seller in human trafficking, and humans are treated as a product. Human trafficking is the second largest crime in the world, next to weapon trafficking. Sometimes you wonder, like, so what is this human trafficking? We not hear it often. If we don't hear it often, that doesn't mean it's not happening. Friends, it's the second largest crime. In second largest organized crime in the world. The third one is human trafficking earns profit of roughly around $150 billion every year, according to International Labour Organization. Friends, so there is so much of profit that accused are taking from human trafficking. Please be aware of all this. Next one is according to UNICEF, every year, every year 2 million people are trafficked. Out of 2 million, 1.5 million are children. That is a very sad thing because children are high demand in human trafficking field. And according to International Labour Organization, 1.2 million children, including boys and girls, trafficked into exploitative work in India, to be employed in a different factory setup. Next one is, according to the National Crime Records Bureau report, I hope you all know, especially social work students, please know about this. It's called National Crime Records Bureau in our country, which releases crime reports every year. According to 2016 report, and that 1 year alone, 8,132 cases of human trafficking were registered. When compared to the previous year, 2015, it is 18% increase within a year. Within a year, it's not even a 2 years, 3 years. Within a year, it shows 18% increased. And the cases are 6,877. 1 minute. Yeah, 77 reported in 2015, but this year it's increased to 8,000 plus cases.
Sir, we can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And it's my humble request, if you're not able to hear and there was interaction, please stop me. I can stop at any point and repeat it. Yeah, so if there is an increase in a crime, 18% in a year, it's something that we need to be think of. We need to be very careful about, friends. Next one we're going to talk about, according to Indian Penal Code 370, it defines what is human trafficking. Especially after 2013, there is a good definition given by, adapted according to the Palmero Protocol by United Nations. India is also almost adapted similar definition and came up with this. Any person is recruited, transported, harbored, transfers, receives a person or persons using threat, force, coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, power of abuse, inducement, giving or receiving any payment or benefits for the purpose of exploitation is called as human trafficking. Friends, I would like to stay on this slide for 2 minutes. I want all of you to understand this context because it's important for us to understand the definition when in the future, when you go to the field and work in the issue of human trafficking, it's easy for you to step in just like that, so please understand this definition. Any person is recruited or transported, harbored, transfer, receive using the means, using the threats, forms, the force, coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, abuse of power, giving or receiving any payments or benefit for the purpose of exploitation. It could be physical exploitation or it could be sexual exploitation. That person is defined as human trafficking victims. To make it very simpler, let me tell you this story, okay? It's a real story that happened in our own Chennai, in our own Tamil Nadu. There is a person called, Kumar. I just changed his name to just protect his identity. Let's take it, his name is Kumar. Kumar is actually from Vidurnagar district. He lost his mother. His father is a drunkard, and then he is not going to school. He's kind of going around the village, making chaos, fighting with friends. Causing troubles around. And there is one guy saw this little boy and went to a father and said, "Look at your son. He's just roaming around, wandering. அவனை பாருங்க ஊரெல்லாம் சுத்தி சண்டை எடுத்துட்டு வரான். இப்படியே விட்டேன்னா நாளைக்கு ஒரு பெரிய ரவுடியா மாறிடுவான். இவன் உருப்பிட மாட்டான். நான் ஒரு ஐடியா தரேன். என் ஃப்ரெண்டு ஒருத்தன் கர்நாடகால ஒரு கடை வச்சிருக்கிறான்ப்பா. அவன் முறுக்கு சுடுற கடை வச்சு முறுக்கு செஞ்சு விற்கிறான். நீ அவனை உன் பையனை என் கூட அவன் கூட அனுப்புறேன். அங்க போய் அவன் ஸ்கூலுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சு விட்டுருவான் காலையில, சாயந்தரமா அவன் பையன் வந்து அவனுக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணட்டும். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு கதையை வந்து இந்த மிடில் மேன் வந்து டெவலப் பண்ணி அவங்க அப்பாவை முதல்ல நம்ப வைக்கிறாரு. And then he actually, convinced the father to send the little boy along with the middleman to Karnataka. Friends, he was trafficked from Virudhunagar to Karnataka. He was forced to work in confectionery unit. நம்ம ஊர்ல அந்த முறுக்கு, சின்ன சின்ன அந்த சாட் ஐட்டம்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸ் அங்க. அந்த செஞ்சு வைக்கிற ஒரு வேலையில வந்து இவரை வைக்கிறாங்க. நம்ம குமாரை வந்து அங்க எம்ப்ளாய் பண்றாங்க. Not just one or two, he was being there for 3 years. He was forced to work for 14 hours a day. He was physically abused. Hot oils were poured on him. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்னாச்சுன்னா ஒரு நாள் somehow he managed to escape. அந்த ஃபெசிலிட்டில இருந்து எஸ்கேப் ஆயிட்டு இங்க ட்ரெயினை பிடிச்சி 2 நாள் he didn't eat any food. He was just drinking the tap water in the train, and he was able to reach Chennai. And with the help of Railway Protection Force, we rescued him at Egmore railway station. And when we rescued him, you should see his face, the whole body full of scars. அவன் தம்பி எந்திரிக்கலன்னா அவனை வந்து அந்த கரண்டிலே எண்ணெய் வந்து சுடு சுடு எண்ணெய் எடுத்து மேலே ஊற்றிடுவார் அந்த ஓனர். ரொம்ப ஒரு கஷ்டமான ஒரு சூழ்நிலை இருந்து அவனை ரெஸ்கியூ பண்ணோம். என்னன்னா இந்த மிடில் மேன் என்ன பண்றாரு, சும்மா கொஞ்சம் அமௌண்ட் கொடுக்குறாரு, இந்தாங்க ஒரு 5000 வச்சுக்கோங்க, நாங்க போயிட்டு பையன் வேலை செய்ய வந்து உங்களுக்கு மாசம் மாசம் ஒரு பெரிய அமௌண்ட் உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துருவோம். உங்க பையன் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு திரும்பி வரும்போது அவன் ஒரு பெரிய கடை வச்சு கொடுக்கறதுக்காக ஒரு 3 லட்சம் ரூபாய் கையில கொடுத்துருவோம் அப்படின்ட்டு இதை using so much of false promises to the father and convinced him and taken him, exploited him. Now let's go back to the definition. If you see the definition, he was recruited to work in a confectionery unit. He was transported from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka. He was harbored. When he was transferred, he also received by one of the owner in Karnataka using fraud, fake job opportunity and deception, saying that he will become a very big business owner, and also by receiving payments. The father was given 5,000 rupees when he was taken to Karnataka. The exploitation model is slavery, servitude, and also physical exploitation. This is the definition, Thambi, friends. The reason I want you to understand this, when you see somebody like this, if they fit into any of this category, never hesitate to reach out to us. Together we can rescue people trapped in human trafficking. Humans are trafficked for 3 purposes. Please understand, humans are trafficked for 3 purposes. One is trafficking for labor, to work in different industries, different places. And the second purpose is for sexual exploitation, to work in sex industries like brothels, private establishments. The pimps will be taking girls across the country and they run an in-house brothel, an online brothel, and sex tourism for different purposes. We will see that little while. And the third category, humans are trafficked for online organ trafficking. A healthy person, like you and me, can our organs can be sold in a market, for a few lakhs rupees. These are the 3 reasons why humans are trafficked. Please understand this. The next is why they are trafficked. These are the 3 purposes, but if you break that into very little more down, you can see predominantly people are especially women are trafficked for commercial sexual exploitation. It could be brothel based, it could be non-brothel based, it could be online based, and people are trafficked for sex tourism, some entertainment industry, to make pornography, to illegal adoption of children, forced marriages, domestic work, forced labor, begging, organ transplant, and other exploitative form of work. For example, if you see, when you going through on a bike, okay, you are traveling in a bike, அப்போ ஒரு சிக்னலை நீங்க கிராஸ் பண்ணும்போது பாப்பீங்க, யாராவது ஒரு குழந்தை வந்து பிச்சை எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கோம். நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, பார்த்துட்டு ரொம்ப ரூடான ஆளுங்கன்னா எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் நிக்குது, கழிப்போ அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு போயிடுவீங்க. ஆனா நீங்களே கொஞ்சம் வந்து ரொம்ப சாஃப்டான ஒரு நேச்சரோட நின்று அந்த குழந்தைக்கு ஏதாவது கொடுத்து போவீங்க. அதே வந்து ஒரு டோல் எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா குழந்தைங்க வந்து ஏதாவது செல் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. Friends, if you carefully listen, ஒரு 5-3 சிக்னல் பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லா குழந்தைங்க ஒரே ப்ராடக்டா வித்துட்டு இருக்கும். பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு இடத்துல ஒரு புக்ஸ் குழந்தை விற்குதுன்னா 5 ஏரியாலயும் அதே புக்ஸ் தான் வித்துட்டு இருக்கும். இல்ல ஒரு இடத்துல வந்து காரோட பிளைண்ட்ஸ் விற்கிறாங்கன்னா 5 இடத்துல கார் பிளைண்ட்ஸ் தான் வித்துட்டு இருக்கும். நீங்க எப்போது நோட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, ஏன் இந்த குழந்தைங்க 5 சிக்னல் வந்துடும், 5 சிக்னல் ஏன் குழந்தைங்க ஒரே மாதிரி ப்ராடக்ட் வித்துட்டு இருக்கு? நீங்க நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் வரும்போது வேற ப்ராடக்ட் மாறி இருந்தாலும் 5 சிக்னல் அதே வேற ப்ராடக்ட் தான் வித்துட்டு இருப்பாங்க. ஏன் அப்படின்னா there is a rocket behind this begging where children are forced to beg, children are forced to sell this. நீங்க ஒன் டே ஃபுல்லா சில்ட்ரன்ஸ் வந்து பெக் பண்ணாலும் அவங்க பாக்கெட்ல போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க காசு இருக்காது. Every 3 hours they go and deposit the money or give the money to the person who's forcing them to bet in the nearby places. அதனாலதான் குழந்தைங்க கிட்ட பாத்தீங்கன்னா எவ்வளவுதான் பெக் பண்ணாலும் அவங்க கையில காசு இருக்காது. ஒரு எம்டி ஒரு 5 காயின்ஸ் தான் வச்சிருப்பாங்க. These are the very basic observation as we worked with anti-human trafficking unit of Tamil Nadu, and we learned, child beggary context, and we also collaborated with Crime Against Women and Children department, and we rescued a lot of child beggars across Chennai city. So you understand this, Tamil. These are the very different angle. The human trafficking victims are employed and exploited. The next one is every single cases. I've been in the field for last 11 years. I've been part of several rescue operations. Every single rescue operation actually got a very strong human trafficking networks. It's a well-organized crime. It's not just randomly one person come, pick the girl, run away. Or one boy comes, one gang comes, take the car, put them in, and just go away. These are one of the old models. But what actually happening is there is a person called spotter. He will be keep looking at the girl or a boy or a family who are in need of in need of money, or in desperate need of some other things. They will just keep observing them and then they recruit them. That is the category of the spotters. The second category is a seller, or a purchaser. Now, as I mentioned, human trafficking is a organized, it's a trade. So there is a seller out there is a purchaser there, and humans are treated like a product. And there will be a transporter. His role is only transport. As I mentioned in one of the boy story, the transporter just took the boy from Virudhunagar, brought him to Madurai, put him on a train. From there, he took him to Karnataka. And he dropped the boy, got the money, came back. That's his job. And there is an abuser and exploiters. And exploiters or abuser is also called as customers in sex industries. And financiers, and custodian, keeper, or contractor, or harborer. These are the different kind of people comes together in every single human trafficking case and exploit humans. Okay, you please. The reason why I'm talking about the trafficker is because they're the key person. One of the very important person the human trafficking, anti-human trafficking field said, if we wanted to eradicate human trafficking, then eradicate all the human traffickers. Arrest all the human traffickers. Then the human trafficking will never happen. So that is why I'm just talking about what is the human trafficking networks behind every single cases. The next one is, if you ever come across any human trafficking case, if it is a labor trafficking or a bonded labor case, please reach out to district collector or revenue divisional officer or tahsildar, labor department, police. These are the people authorized to do human bonded labor case identification, rescue, rehabilitation. The second category, if you identify any labor sex trafficking victims, please inform to the local police station or anti-human trafficking unit or Crime Against Women and Children unit and child trafficking units in Chennai across Tamil Nadu. The next one is, if it is a child trafficking, okay, you see a child, you suspect this child could be a possible victim of trafficking, then you call Childline. You can also inform any member of the Child Welfare Committee or District Child Protection Units officers. They would definitely jump in and support. Or you can also reach out to International Justice Mission or any other NGO that is working on the issue of human trafficking and inform them about this information. And you can also join with them, join hands with them to fight this case.
Students can take a screenshot of this slide, no? Students, those who want, can take the screenshot of this slide. Whom to contact? Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. Anytime. Okay, now we just learned about what is human trafficking, definition, whose authority, how it actually happens. Now we're going to talk about how human trafficking are happening on cyberspace. Let me give you one small understanding. In India, we actually have around 326.1 million social media users. Because in online human trafficking, social media is one of the greatest platforms used by the trafficker to trap the victims. And out of 326, almost 164 million of social media users are teens and students, especially you all. We all use social media. Okay, I'm not here to give a threat, or I'm just here to keep you aware of what can happen on social media. And sometimes when you use social media, you always think, okay, because this is the general understanding in our brain that okay, when I use social media, I'm doing this so my friends can see this, so my relatives can see this, so my family members can see this. I'm using social media, updating my post, updating my status, uploading my videos just for my family friends to see. But friends, one thing that we are forgetting here is social media platform is also shared by criminals. Okay, pedophiles, abusers, frauds, human trafficking victims. In one of the international conference, an amazing presentation, they have said, in any given time, there is 10,000 plus pedophiles are online, desperately looking for a child to abuse them. you know any given minute, that is the status of online platform. Most of the time parents, everybody convinced, okay, my son is doing this so that he can be friends with, close, can be a friend with others. But that's not true. It also is, you're also sharing your pictures, your videos, your information with all these criminals. So what actually happened during this COVID pandemic, there is a 36% increase in people using mobile apps. There is 47 percentage, increase in people using social media. There is a 46 percentage increase in people using messenger services like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, Instagram. All this. These are the messenger services, and also service, chat rooms and other adult chat rooms. And there is a 57 percentage increase in people watching shows and films. This include pornography. Okay, this is increased during this pandemic. What actually, how this is contributing, how this is actually connecting to human trafficking issue? Because if you are a person, not aware some of the best, the usage of social media, if you're not aware of, how to use social media safely, then you are highly vulnerable for cyber trafficking. Please, after what we're going to discuss is going to be little important, so please pay attention to this, friends. One is this incident. Okay, I'm going to talk about how human traffickers, or cyber trafficker, use social media to trap the victims. Let me give you this example. It's not an example, true happened story in Chennai. There is a person called Venkatesam. Okay, he employed 30 tech-savvy youth, a team of youths who was, very good at, online tech-savvy guys. He employed all of them. What is their job? The 30 people's job. They go online, start liking picture of the girls and liking the picture of the video, short video of the girls, and started sending messages that you look beautiful, you dance very well. They keep sending it using a fake ID, so they keep sending to the girl. At one point, the girl responds back saying that, okay, thank you so much. What is your name? Where you are chatting from? Then that slowly they develop a conversation, and they slowly introduce themselves by saying that they work in a film industry. They're the people who get, there's like a manpower agency, employ girls, beautiful girls, talented girls in a film industry, so that when I see your video of you dancing, playing instrument, I feel like you can be one of the person who can be a next Nayandara in Tamil Nadu. அப்படி சொல்லும் போதே நம்மளுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிடும், நம்ம கொஞ்சம் கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும், நம்மளையெல்லாம் நயன்தாரான்னு சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்ட்டு நீங்க ரெடி ஆயிடணும். It's not about just putting yourself down. Is that the moment you hear such words, you need to be very careful. Should we believe this guy or not? Nobody checks who's sending the message. Always they're very happy to see the response. Nobody checks, what kind of a guy is sending a message to me. Instead, they're very pleased with the message that they're receiving. Friends, this case happened in Chennai. By the time, somehow, they were able to go to the police. By the time police get to them, he was able to, get around 20 girls. He was able to victimize 30 girls, through social media, and put all of them in sex trade in Chennai. It's a very sad story, friends. What actually happened is this guy, so slowly they will talk over the WhatsApp or over the social media, and slowly they changed the conversation into physical. They just start calling you, and they started sending lot of goodies. Like they'll send you dress, they send you tickets to movie, they'll send you, ask you to come to Chennai, and one or two times they will actually act as they're very credible. They'll also take you to the media studios and movie making places, all this place. At one point, when you completely believe them, and they slowly push you into sex trade. That's the main targets, friends. We've also worked on cases where the girls completely believe the boys. They're saying that okay, I'm going to work. I'm going to work in a film industry. That's all I wanted to do. When you are a person like this, you need to be very careful. There are predators like Venkatesh, literally, investing in 30 people. They're going around and chatting with girls and trapping them. Making them isolate because during pandemics they're not able to go in person. You'll be able to go in person and do this. So imagine if they send 1,000 messages online, definitely they will receive around 400 responses. I'm not exaggerating. This is truly happening. They will send 1,000 messages to 1,000 different girls, and they will definitely get 200. And out of 200, see, by the time police get there, 30 girls have been victimized by this group. Next one is exciting job opportunity. Friends, every year approximately, lakhs and lakhs of people are graduated. Everybody is not getting, placed in a good placement places, good job, good industries. They're always desperate, to get into some place where they can actually earn money and, save, support the family, support themselves. Sometimes you think, okay, these are uneducated people only get caught, educated will not. Friends, I'll give you another case scenario. There are 32 Kerala nurses rescued from traffickers at Bangalore airport. All this started, in one college, one nursing college, they received a message, text message like this. I am Mr. Raj Mohan. I am contacting you regarding a job position you have been considered in our government. It's a government recognized agency. They'll give all the fake information and they convince you, it's a job recruitment agency. The moment you send your information, they will start conversing and, they will actually do two things. One, they will exploit you, they will take you away from your location and then they will push you into brothels, they will push you into labor trafficking or organ trafficking, or they'll also exploit money from you. Now, what actually happened in this case, all these 32 Kerala nurses were told they've been taken to Armenia, in a university in Armenia to read German, so that they can be, sent to different country to work as a nurses. Completely, very much interesting about the international job. These nurses, blindly believe this trafficker and travel, but sadly, none of them aware where they're going, what they're going to do, which place they're going to be employed. Nothing they're aware. All that they know, there is a person who's taking us to different country to learn to learn German, so that I can be employed. That's all. But there is a police officer at Bangalore airport felt how this is. Nobody knows where they're going. Nobody has the details. Except everything they ask, they will point out to one person, and then they realize, okay, this is something hidden. Then only he actually called out and stopped and said. Then they found out these are the trafficking and trying to take these girls to different countries for exploitation. And this is another interesting story. All that I'm sharing is a real thing happened in our own country, in our own nearby states, in our own Tamil Nadu sometimes. Okay, so there was a group of women. Okay, there was a woman arrested in Chennai airport. It's very interesting case. There was a message sent to all the boys who are very good at dance. It's a talent-based offer. So the boys were really, they wanted to join and then they wanted to join the cinema and all this. The boys sent a message saying that we are interested to join. And then they were giving him for, over 1 month training, dance training, and then said, okay, we are going to another country. We're going to travel to different country. The boys were very excited. Wow, we are going to different country. But sadly, this boy is from Mumbai. This trafficker brought all the people to Chennai. From Chennai, they were about to board a flight to a country, to go to another country. And Chennai, they were very fishy about the situation. And Central Crime Branch, they stopped them, and they were about to travel to Canada. When they stopped them, all the students said, we are going to other country for dance program. But what actually happened is the government was noticing this woman goes to other country along with bunch of kids, but every year she comes back, she's coming back alone. What happened to the kids? Nobody knows, and that's become a very fishy among this the staff, especially police officer. And they stopped, and the girl, especially this lady, Datta, she openly confessed that she's taking students under this talent-based offers to other countries and selling them in domestic work and other places in different countries. The next one important is the lover boy concept. Friends, we should aware of this, especially girls and boys. Both of you, please be aware of this. Lover boy concept is very, recently spreading online. These are the people who create a fake ID and act like as if they're in love with you. They'll tell you look beautiful. Look at your parents. They're not taking care of you. I'm sure that some of your parents are also here. This is how the human trafficker works. They literally tell your child, I am the one who's going to take care of you. Your parents are not listening to you. They're not going to take care of you. I'm the one going to take care of you. They tell all these lies and convince your daughter and your son, saying that they are the person who's made to each other. Like to that extent, they will bring, and then they will make the person come in person, and they will take them. They will simply tell them, no, Tamil Nadu is not safe for us. Let's go to Bangalore. Let's go to Mumbai. Let's go to Calcutta. Let's go to Uttar Pradesh. They will say all the state and go there, and there they will sell you. Literally sell you to pimps, sell you into brothel, sell you into owners who is running the industries. And there are so many dating apps. I may say this. Some of the professors here may not know about all this, but all the students are aware what I'm talking, ma'am. There's something called Tinder. There's something called Binder. These are the apps that is available where the boys go there and select, reject the girls that is staying around, in the locations. Sometimes you think it's a fun, it's a it's just a fun that I'm spending time. But friends, every time you go on these sites, they will track you. They'll track your location. They'll track your information, your age, your because this apps asks for your locations. When you give permission to the location, it's easy for the other person to see where you are actually chatting from. What is your proximity? That's easy for the trafficker to just getting and make you a victim of human trafficking. Next one is matrimonial side. I'm not here to scare you, but I just wanted to tell you recently even the matrimonial sites are used by human traffickers to lure the victims. Because in any matrimonial sites, even they pay like 100 rupees or 200 rupees, they're ready to get a profile of any girls they wanted to target. There is a demand created for girls, friends. They said, I want a fair girl, I want a tall girl, I want a dark girl. There is a demand by a buyers, customers to the traffickers, and they start looking for the place. They will find matrimonial site is one of the location where they get all the girls' images. And then once the girls started talking over the phone, they'll turn that into in-person conversation. They ask for a meeting, and then they go for an exploitation stage. These are the different angle of looking at it. And then there is another thing. It's also among predominantly increasing among students are called sexting. You chatting and also use sexual language among this is become sexting. Sometimes the fake identity people come in the shadow of a fake ID, using fake ID of a girl. You think you're chatting with a girl. They will get all these things, and then they will send that entire thing back to you, saying that start blackmail you. They'll ask for some sexual favors. These are truly happening, and I really wanted to tell you there are so many things. And due to a time constraint, I'm also stopping. And something also increasing recently, it's online child sexual exploitation. Friends, this is there is a person sits in one place using during especially pandemic is increased so much, where the child in one place in developing countries being abused here, which is live telecasted to another people who are watching from other countries, developing countries. The last one I wanted to tell is what is the different trends on human trafficking. Nowadays, they're targeting college students, college girls, saying there is a pleasure trip, going to Singapore for 5 days. All that you need to win this lottery, win this ticket. Second, jobs in film world. You look beautiful, you look tall, your nose is pointy, good for modeling. And then, you're doing a good acting, just join acting in parlors. matrimonial site, online sex tourism, false promises for marriage, befriending by giving goodies, dance troupe, job placement agencies. These are the recent trends among human trafficking to trap the victims. Friends, sometimes you wonder, so all the cyber criminals are from somewhere. You say, sir, I just use Facebook, sir. I don't engage with any other criminals. Friends, according to National Crime Records Bureau 2017 data says 14.17 percentage of the criminals are none other than neighbors, friends, and relatives. You know, their own neighbors who observe you every day, friends who knows you, your strength and weakness, relatives. They are the criminals behind this cyber crimes. Something. Don't think that that I am not involving in any of this. If your profile is not locked, then people knows how to get into your in your document. These are the 10 steps and a basic step that you can protect yourself online when you go on it. Don't worry about this. I will send a short booklet to Professor Shakti ma'am so that she can circulate with you all of you. You can read it. It's just a simple message. How you need to protect your profile on social media accounts. Just block. Go to the private setting and make it private. Make your profile private so that people won't get to see all this, all your information. And then, how can you support on human trafficking, friends? You can join hands with authorities and other NGOs who are working on human trafficking, working against human trafficking. You can also launch anti-human trafficking club. IGM is one of the, is closely working with several colleges in Chennai and Tamil Nadu, launching anti-human trafficking clubs among students so that, they can get sensitized. They can also do a lot of activities to sensitize others. Second, create awareness through, workshops, quiz programs, conference, campaign, like what we are doing today. It's a national conference, so everybody can get to see this, learn from this. And then you can also release posters on human trafficking. I'm sure that a lot of apps that comes with creating free posters. You just learn about human trafficking, create a small content, circulate. Many people see, read it, and get aware of it. And then you can conduct research on human trafficking, paper presentation on human trafficking, and create memes. There are, people are using memes for very, negative things. You can use memes for a positive thing because memes uses the young population faster than any other modes. And then stay safe online and be aware of vulnerabilities of human trafficking. And then you can do internship with child welfare committees, NGOs, and DLSAs, and also ask for help. If you are going through any of such situations, okay, never hesitate to reach out to police or never hesitate to reach out to any other NGOs who are working on IJM and any other NGOs working on human trafficking, anti-human trafficking. You need a help. Never hide. Never start doing things the accuser asking you to. If you are, you listen to entire presentation. If you are, part of any of this such things, please reach out to us, and we are very happy to help you. Finally, I would like to close this session by telling a true story that I was personally involved about Ria. Again, I'm using a pseudonym here to protect an identity. We rescued Ria from sex industry. Ria was actually from West Bengal. She was, lured by saying a fake job opportunity in a clothes shopping center. And then when she reached Bangalore, she was exploited, brutally raped and abused. From that, she was transported to a different part of our country. Finally, we were able to rescue her in Pondicherry. And the moment when I rescued her, she held my hand. She told me, if I know, if I was told about human trafficking, if I know aware of what is human trafficking, I would have protected myself. These are the words of Ria. I still, freshly remember her voice. Friends, that's exact words I wanted to tell you. Please be aware of human trafficking. We need to protect more Rias. We don't want any more Rias saying that, I wish I was aware of human trafficking. Please join hands with, the law enforcement agency. Please join hands with the local government. Please join hands with the NGOs and other stakeholders of anti-human trafficking and create awareness. Join the fight against human trafficking so that we can create India, Tamil Nadu as an anti-human trafficking, human trafficking free India, human trafficking free Tamil Nadu. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. It was very useful, sir. Let us move to question and answer session. I request all the students, if you have any doubts, kindly unmute and ask. Let's post your doubts in chat box. Students, now
So
we
there
are
are
going to answer the
questions
doubts.
in the chat box, ma. You can just convey those questions to sir.
So much, sir. Wonderful session. It was very useful. Okay, sir. You can post your doubts in chat box.
No, already they have posted something.
Yes, sir. Carol Pamela ma'am from Oasis have asked PPT, sir, of the session.
Definitely, yes. I will be sharing the PPT with any one of the professors, Dr. Shamla ma'am or Professor Shakti ma'am. Definitely, you can make this. Sure.
Yes, sir. Definitely, we will send that. And Kevin George has raised a hand. You can unmute and ask your question now. Mr. Kevin George.
Sir, how is this human trafficking is happened, sir? How is human trafficking happening in India, sir?
Yeah. How is human trafficking is happening? Like what is the
What is the reason for human trafficking happening in India?
Okay, reasons behind. So there are several reasons happening, behind every human trafficking cases. Sometimes human trafficking is predominantly based on economic, deprivations. Majority of the labor trafficking, labor traffickers, brokers, and middlemen target the family who's looking for a job opportunity to support the family. When the moment they find out this family is in need, they will definitely go, and target them. They said, I will give you a job, so it's all, starts from economic deprivation. Sometimes it's also, sometimes people believe that it's only because of the illiteracy. That's not true. Majority of the sex trafficking victims are, well educated, with a good wealthy, they all coming from a good wealth background, but still they are able to get trapped. So it all begins with, you being not well aware of the human traffickers, because they use the deception, fraud, coercion to cheat you. So majority is behind the economic or social deprivations, but most of the things are actually happening because you're not aware of human trafficking. I hope that answered your questions.
Correct. Thank you.
Sir, Jennifer ma'am have posted a question in the chat box, sir.
Yeah, it is from Dr. Vijayalakshmi Priya. You read out the question. Yeah, in USA, there are national database of sex offenders is available to public and parents, according to area wise. What about India?
Yes, ma'am. Even in India, we actually have a database available. As I mentioned, that it's with the National Crime Records Bureau, and they've actually gives the data every year based on the district wise and based on the state wise, and what are the different categories of human trafficking offenders they're able to arrest. But the name and the details is not actually available. But there is a project is on right now, and they're trying to bring it in public so that people can be aware of it. Yeah, but currently the names and location details are not available for public, but general data are available. Even if you go to National Crime Records Bureau website, you will find 2017's report in 2018, which is actually gives you, there is a one separate section under human trafficking. You will identify different details, different data on human trafficking, forms of human trafficking, number of human trafficking, what is the step taken by the law enforcement agents to combat human trafficking.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question, ma?
Yes,
Please post your questions in chat box, no?
Raj Vikesh is asking, does human trafficking happens in Chennai, sir?
Yes, yes, human trafficking happens in Chennai. According to Tamil Nadu, Thiruvallur district, which is just near our Chennai, is one of the district with highest number of human trafficking victims for labor trafficking. In Chennai, again, there is a lot of human trafficking cases. Even the first example that I used, Venkatesan, who's employed 30 tech-savvy youngsters to, using fake account to go online and identify the girls. It's also happened in our own Chennai. Our own Chennai commissioner has mapped this criminal and the entire network. Chennai is prone for human trafficking. It is also used as a transit point. We need to understand there is a transit point in every human trafficking cases where they bring from where they're bringing is called a source. Where they're going is a destination, and between there is a place called transit. So Chennai has been used as a transit hub where other states, girls, boys and other laborers are brought in Chennai. From Chennai, they're distributed across Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and other places. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Jennifer ma'am posted, Dr. R. Tirakadi Ramaya has asked how to educate kids about traffic.
I think at the kids level, as I mentioned, child trafficking is also one of the major things that's happening in our country. Okay, it's very important for us to educate our children. How you can educate our children is, by teaching them some of the disciplines. One is our interaction with strangers. It could be personal or online. Sometimes we're very happy when our child is proactive in online using social media. But we are one thing that fail to understand is what is our child doing on online. What are the different activities that they are doing? So you need to bring in some disciplines on social media usage among children. One is first thing is you need to teach your children about interaction with the strangers. Okay, interaction with neighbors. How what is the limitation? Good touch, bad touch. It all starts from there, and then slowly you also teach your children how they need to be very disciplined on social media. What kind of information they can share. Now, I also wanted to tell you one shocking information. Was a girl kept sharing message on social media, and one of the messages she shared was, "Finally, I am home alone, uh, away from my parents. I'm cooking myself. I'm cooking food on my own, learning how to cook." These are the information she generally puts on social media, but it was for a criminal. It was an invitation. Okay, looks like this girl is alone at home. The parents are gone to somewhere. Nobody's at home. So when you get that signals to a criminals, they're always ready to exploit the situation. So we need to teach our children in a very simple manner how they need to be very careful, with strangers, with others, as equally as online as well. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sudha John Brito has asked, sir, to add on for reasons for trafficking, at times child feel they are deprived of love from parents.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm not able to hear it.
She's adding a point, it seems, sir. At times child feel they are deprived of love from parents due to trafficking.
No, what she's trying to say. At times, child feel they are deprived of love from parents.
That's very true. Whoever asked this, I do agree with you. I have two sons, so I can see what you're saying. The children, whatever we do, and they always think, that when they hear from outside, they will always be very happy. It's okay for them to, get love from the relatives and the neighbors and others, but we need to keep a check on every people they're interacting with. Sometimes, if the love is genuine, it's totally fine. They learn from it. But imagine a love that actually comes with the bad intentions. As I mentioned, the lover boy, they're also called as Romeo boys, online Romeos. Their only job is to come online. The only job is to send fake messages. There's no true love behind. So we need to help our children to somehow help them to understand, because every child is different. We need to help them understand how they're coming up with a bad intention. They're posing as if they're love them, because there are so many young girls completely believe this kind of lover boys or the online Romeos. They completely trust them, completely believe them, thinking, okay, these are the guys, they protect us, they're going to, they provide love, and they are the only who can, support us, not our parents. And this is not our children's mistake sometimes, because these guys were well trained to point, to observe these kind of gaps between the child and the parents. And they keep insisting on these gaps. They'll say, look at your mother, she don't even care whether you eat or not. Look at your dad, he's always beating. Look at your parents, they never care about you. You ask for toys. No, sometimes they ask for phone. You say, no, no phone now, later. And they will provide phones and simply say, "See, I love you so much more than your parents. That's why I bought you phones." These are the small, intentional gesture by the bad people actually makes our child feel that they are the one who taking care of them well. And we need to be very careful in such situations. We need to keep a check on every people that he or she is interacting with. Okay, that in that way we can actually prevent our children from such predators of human trafficking.
Thank you, sir. Yasmin has a doubt. We see many children near toll gates and signal selling various things. Most of them are there because of trafficking. What is the procedure to rescue them?
Okay. That's a good question. You see, a lot of children are begging, but if you ask the children, they'll all say, "No, it's we are going to school." Okay, the first thing, the moment you ask them, "Are you going to school?" They'll say, "Yes, we are going to school," and then they will say that we are going to school, and which school they are studying, and which is their class teacher. They've been told, and they've been tutored to say this. And if you are a smart social worker or a smart student, you can actually, by asking questions itself, you'll understand whether they're genuinely going to school or they've been tutored to say such words. Second, sometimes if you ask them more than two questions, they're not able to answer you better, but instead they'll be looking at some place. They're looking at this corner or that corner or this corner, because the person who put them to bed will be sitting there. That is an indication that they've been there by someone else. If you find such cases, friends, I would strongly recommend you to call Childline, 1098, and tell them, this is what you witness at this exact signals. You need to identify the location first. You can't call them and say, no, only the part I've been solading. Because if it's an organized begging racket, one of the general things that they follow is they keep rotating the beggars. They'll put them here, and the child will be begging. Another 1 hour, the child will not be there. The child will be put to beg in another place. Another 1 hour, the child will be taken to another place. So that by the time people come here and reach, they'll not be there. These are, some of the tactics used by the racket behind this begging. But if you want to be smarter, please act as you just ask for it, out of concern, not out of, don't show them that, you're ready to rescue the child. You just ask them, how you can support them more. And when the moment you trust the child, get the trust of the child, then inform the stakeholders. The first one you can reach out to is Childline, because Childline have a field staff in all the places. They can deploy them immediately so that they can also do the rescue. That's how you can actually protect these children.
Thank you, sir. Arunachalam, sir, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Sir, when the trafficking came to end, sir?
Thank you, Arunachalam. That's exactly, we're all waiting. We wanted to make our country human trafficking free nation, and it will come to end the moment you decided, Arunachalam, you decided that you wanted to do something. You wanted to, when you decide to join the fight against human trafficking, definitely trafficking will end. So likewise, every single person need to think, because if you see the statistics, only 8,000 plus cases are registered, and there are hundreds and thousands of cases are unregistered. It goes unnoticed. Imagine we have 100 people if you are outside. We have a lot of people in our country. If all of us think, let us decide to end human trafficking, we can end human trafficking now. Thank you. Thank you, Arachal, for the question.
Thank you, sir. We have another question. What are all the web links related to this topic from Mr. Karthikeyan? What are all the web links related to this topic? Web links, sir. What are all the web links related to this topic from Mr. Karthikeyan?
Okay, I get the point. So he's asking if I wanted to know more about human trafficking, what are the web links that are available? That is the question. So the answer would be the Ministry of Home Affairs. They are the nodal officer in our country and handling human trafficking. If you wanted to know about human trafficking in our country, you can actually go on the website of the Ministry of Home Affairs, under which you can also identify human trafficking section, under which you'll have all the information. In fact, you'll also understand different programs done across the country and what is the step taken by our country. And then there is something called anti-human trafficking units. So the Ministry of Home Affairs actually funding sometimes, the anti-human trafficking, establish anti-human trafficking units across the country, across the districts, where there is a special unit of police officers working to combat human trafficking. Okay, even in Chennai, we have anti-human trafficking unit. It is in CBCID building. Now it is also comes under crime against women and children unit, which is again in DGP office.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? If any questions, you can unmute and ask yourself, or else you can post it in the chat box. Students?
One Mr. Nanjil Arun has asked a question, posted a question in the chat box now. Mr. Nanjil Arun, a few weeks ago, some child laborers were begging daily at bus stands in Tirunelveli district. And children can be seen there daily after reporting to the child line. No action is taken despite repeated reports. Who can we contact in this situation?
Okay, so under the child line structure, there is a state office. Child line it is in T-Nagar, and the state office will collaborate with the local NGOs. So if you tell me exact location, I can also connect you with that person. Is Mr. Andrew, who is in charge for that, I think south side. If you tell me the location of the place, I can also put the word with him to take an action. Or I can also connect you with, I hope you have my number, I put it on the screen. If you just WhatsApp me, I will actually send you his number. You can directly contact him, and definitely there will be an action. Immediate action will be taken against this incident. If you find out such incidents, repeatedly, there is no response, you can also approach the second level, because sometimes the NGO they call it as NGOs, collaboration with NGOs, and they have a director, and when the staff is not functioning, then you can immediately inform the director. So if you don't know which director is handling that area, just let me know so I can directly contact you or connect you with the state office so that they can take an action immediately.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Students, if you have any other questions, kindly post in the chat box, or else you can unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Yeah, if there are no questions, shall we close?
Yes, ma'am. There are no questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I request every student to fill the feedback form. The link has been posted in the chat box by Murugan sir in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback so that you will receive the e-certificates. If Thank you so much, sir. We'll move on to vote of thanks. On behalf of Dr. Ambedkar Government Arts College from the PG Department of Social Work, I'd like to thank our today's chief guest, Dr. M. Devasitam sir, for this wonderful session. We have came to know what is human trafficking, UNICEF, cases on human trafficking, and components of human trafficking. Also learned about human trafficking, the purpose of human trafficking, labor trafficking, and sex trafficking and organ trafficking. We have learned many new things like whom to contact if we noticed trafficking. We have learned many new things like cyberspace, cyber trafficking, social media networking was totally new to us, sir. And also we have came to know about matrimonial site targets, online sexual exploitation of children, and also you have explained how to stop trafficking and share your experience very clearly to us, sir. You also taught about how to make people aware, and you did a great question and answer session, sir. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, sir. It has helped us in many ways. We have learned many new things, sir. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time in spite of your busy schedule, sir.
Thank you, Amina, for wonderfully leading the entire session. And once again, I would like to thank the principal of the college, Dr. Sumati Rajagopalan ma'am, for the wonderful opportunity. A special thanks to Dr. Shamla ma'am for inviting me and giving this wonderful opportunity to interact with more than 100 students and sensitize all of them. And thank you, Dr. Murugan sir. And thank you, Dr. Sandana Krishnan sir, Ms. Rachel ma'am,
Thank you, sir.
and Ravindra sir. Special thanks to once again Shakti. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to interact with all the students. And I wanted to tell you, Dr. Shamla ma'am, that this is one of the presentations where students ask a lot of questions. Generally, they hesitate to ask questions and they don't want to ask questions. I'm so happy to hear that, two ways. One, I'm taking it only when they, listen the entire presentation, they're able to ask questions. So that means they listened it very well. I think it's because of your leadership and all of you here made sure that they're part of it and listen to it. So thank you so much. On behalf of the International Justice Mission, and I really wanted to thank each one of you for putting this entire webinar together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, it is a common topic, sir. I thought it's not only for MSW students. Next time in future, we are very eager to work with you for a webinar or for a not necessarily for a webinar, it's a workshop or something, because it's a common topic and every student should know about it. We will invite you after this pandemic time is over, sir.
Ma'am, definitely yes. Now itself I'm saying I'm available. And especially in person, we
Because,
can make it more interesting. Yes.
Yeah, each and every, even not only students, every parent should know about this.
Totally agree, ma'am.
We will invite you to the college after the we reopen.
Sure.
Thank you so much for spending your valuable time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I also would like to thank Principal Ma'am Dr. R. Shakti, a Department HOD Ma'am Dr. K. Shyamala, a faculty coordinators Shakti Ma'am and Jennifer Ma'am. Especially, I would like to thank Dr. Murugan sir, Dr. Santanam Krishnan sir, and Mr. Naveen Raj sir from Computer Science Department for technical support rendered. I would like to thank all faculty members from other departments of our college and other colleges. We all would like to thank every single staff made this wonderful national level webinar possible. Last but not least, I would like to thank each and every participant who took part in this webinar. I thank each and every person for the valuable presence for this webinar. Thank you all. I request all the students to fill the feedback form so that you will receive the e-certificates. Thank you. The link has been posted by Murugan sir in the chat box. Students, before leaving, kindly fill the feedback form. Murugan sir have posted the link again. Kindly fill the feedback form, students.
And don't share it to others also, ma.
Please don't share it to others. Only the people who attended the session kindly fill the feedback form.
Dr. Murugan sir, can I leave, sir? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
ma'am.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful
Thank you.
day, ma'am.
Thank you,
And
sir.
all
Thank
of
you
you
so
have
much,
a
sir.
wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Students from other colleges also please fill the feedback form. The link has been posted in the chat box.
மேடம் எங்க இருந்ததை விட யூடியூப் வந்து அவ்வளவு கிளியரா இருந்தது வாய்ஸ். பாத்தீங்களா? செக் பண்ணீங்களா?
இல்ல சார், வாய்ஸ் ரொம்ப வைக்கல சார். ஏன்னா இதுல இருந்ததுனால வாய்ஸ்
இல்ல இல்ல
வச்சிருந்தோம்னா அதுல இதாகாது.
அத ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் ஆகும். ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துல யாரோ நம்ம வச்சிருப்போம் போல, நம்ம மாத்தி வச்சிருப்போம் யாராவது ஒருத்தர்.
இல்ல என்னோடது வந்து வாய்ஸ் ரொம்ப நான் வந்து மியூட்ல தான் சார் வச்சிருந்தேன்.
யாரோ ஒருத்தர் வந்து மாத்தனா இல்ல ஜெனியும் பாத்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கா இல்ல, யார் நம்ம 3 பேர்ல ஒருத்தர் வச்சிருப்போம்.
இல்ல ஜெனிட்ட நான் ஏற்கனவே சொல்லிட்டேன். I told her to keep it in a note only.
ஓகே ஓகே. அது என்னாச்சுன்னா ஒரு முறை மட்டும் டபுள் தி இது வந்தது. தென் மித்தபடி பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதை விட வாய்ஸ் இதுல கூட சாருக்கு 2-3 நேரம் அந்த இது பிரேக் ஆன மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. அங்க செமையா போச்சு.
இவளோடது வந்து கம்பேர் பண்ணாலே அவளோட வாய்ஸ் வந்து கொஞ்சம் பிரேக் ஆன மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு.
என்ன ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா முதல்ல என்ன வரலன்னா வீடியோ வரல. ஏன் அப்படின்னா லிங்க் வந்து வேற லிங்க் இருந்திருக்குது. அதனால உங்க வாய்ஸ் கேட்டுக்கிட்டு இருந்து பேசினதெல்லாம். அப்புறம் ஆனா மேம் சொன்னாங்க லிங்க் வரலன்னு சொல்லி, உடனே போட்டு விட்டுட்டேன். அது போட்டு லிங்கை மாத்தின உடனே அழகா வந்துருச்சு. வீடியோ ரொம்ப கிளியரா. சரி ஓகே. வேற ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. பசங்க ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு.
அம்மா சங்கீதான்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒருத்தவங்க வந்து she is working in Voices India. She need more information about trafficking. How can I contact you sir னு கேக்குறாங்க. சாரோட மெயில் ஐடி வேணா வாங்கி கொடுத்துருங்களா? சங்கீதா.
ஓகே ஓகே மேம். ஓகே மேம். கேரல் மேம் கான்டாக்டும் இருக்கு மேம். அவங்களும் Voices India தான். I will share the contact info.
கான்டாக்ட் வந்து அட்லீஸ்ட் மெயில் ஐடி வாங்கி கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா அதை
ஓகே ஓகே மேம். ஓகே
சங்கீதா அதிரா.
ஓகே மேம்.
எஸ்
ஜெனிஃபர் பசங்க ஃபில் பண்ணி நான் வந்து சர்டிபிகேட் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டேன். இல்லனா இவங்க யாருக்காவது
சார் உங்க வாய்ஸ் ஆடிபிளா இல்ல சார்.
அதாவது 110 குள்ள ஃபில் பண்ண சொல்றாங்க.
ஓகே 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 மேம்.
பசங்களுக்கு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருமா?
ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே. ரைட் மேம். க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடட்டுமா?
எஸ் எஸ் we can close.
Yeah.
சக்தி
சார் ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆஃப் பண்ணிடலாமா சார்?
ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க. எஸ்கே சார் ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆஃப் பண்ணிருங்க. ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க. சொல்ல மறந்துட்டேன். ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க.
Shakti, shall we leave? Thank you so much.
Thank you ma'am. Thank you ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Shakti, thank you Shakti.
Sir, thanks sir. Sir, நாங்க தான் sir thanks சொன்னோம். எங்க program YouTube